What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. It's Thursday, the 16th of July. Let's speak about this week's brand new Rust skins. If you haven't already seen the latest DLC update that came out last week, we've got some brand new high walls and doors. And of course, SCMM has been struggling to keep up with everything. This week it does seem to be up, although it hasn't exactly updated since last week. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out this week's brand new skins on the Rust store. Check them out in-game so you can decide if you want them. And finally, speak about whether these skins are actually worth purchasing, as a lot of these are continuing existing collections. So let's get into it. This week we have 9 brand new Rust skins. Most of them are continuations of existing sets. Starting off with the most expensive items this week for $3, we've got the Gold Chains Icepick and the Heat Seeker LR. Then for $2.50 we've got the Sinotype Ammo Large Box Neon Veggies Fridge. Then for $2 the Ultramarine Rock and Bones Cage Locker, and finally $1.50 the Chameleon Boots, as well as the Funerary Hoodie and Pants. So let's check out all of these in-game. Starting off at the very top with the outfit, we've got these brand new bits of drip here. We've got these brand new Funerary Pants and Hoodie to go along with the backpack that we saw last week, sporting the same skulls appearing across it, ribs along our chest and things like that, as well as these bullets that spread all the way around it in both 5.56 and pistol variants. I think this looks really cool. It's nice to have another super dark skin to add to our collection, and of course these bones across really do make us look pretty menacing. Most of the time you won't see this, as you'll be covered under armor for the most part, so most of what you see here will be covered during general gameplay, like the ammo belt that goes around, well, your waist over here on the pants, and of course the hoodie as well. You'll only really see it going over a bit of the shoulder and a bit on the front side, with that being pretty much that. The rest of it's covered by armor. These skulls on the knees, where the, I guess, knee pads are, do look really cool, and overall I like this a huge amount. As for how much it'll be worth, well, this is a continuation, much like many other skins we have this week in existing sets, so we should have some data on it there. Then moving down to our shoes over here, you can see this week's brand new shoe is the Chameleon Boots shoe for $1.50. These nice leathery, shiny pink boots with this iridescent, I guess, metal or plastic or something along the front of it and the top does really look super futuristic while keeping a nice dark look about it. If I remove the Funerary pants, you can get a real good look at how these shoes look. They're, in my opinion, super futuristic looking. Really do like the look that they're going for here. They exist in a set, but again, we'll see that in just a bit. You can see these braided stitch lines going across the side and the back. Yeah, I really do like the look of these futuristic boots. If we quickly slide across to the front, you can see this beautiful green shine coming off this iridescent plastic. Obviously on lower settings you won't be seeing such a thing for the most part, but yeah, these look really cool. Then from there, you've already seen on my back this week's brand new Heat Seeker edition, the Heat Seeker LR. This really cool looking LR is yet another really sick addition to the Heat Seeker set, and of course there's some really funky things going on with the scope, as you can see right over here. The back iron sight is almost completely missing. I'm excited to see what this thing looks like in first person, but for now at least, you can enjoy the beautiful color scheme of orange and purple. I really, again, like how this thing looks, and obviously the previous skins have been pretty pay to win, leading to a ton of people purchasing them, and of course this I'm pretty sure will be no different. That also being said, supply and demand, a huge amount of these things were bought. They did originally have a really high price, as nobody really saw this coming. They sold a huge amount, and well, we'll see where that's currently going right now to help you decide if this is worth picking up this week or not. If we check out the first person, over here you can see just how ridiculous this thing is. That weird spike that we saw for the back iron sight is completely gone here. We've only got the front iron sight, making this super OP. Remember, the usual M4A4 has a huge circular backside covering up a lot of your screen. This is incredibly pay to win, and if you don't pick it up this week, well, I'm not too sure when you'll get another chance for something this crazy. If we go ahead and reload it here, as well as inspect it, you can see the rest of the skin. Super pretty. I love the color scheme. The pay to win aspect of it, well, it's all over Rust now, so we don't really have too much choice in that regard. If we flick over to nighttime, you can see exactly how the scope looks. It's almost completely gone, except you can see a bit of it left here. Of course, the front iron sight is quite a bit more visible in this whitey, creamy looking color at night, making it pretty easy to see exactly what's going on. As for the rest of me, you can see that this week's Funerary hoodie and pants completely disappear in the darkness, as well as those boots, the Chameleon Boots, for $1.50 as well. As for this $3 LR, the Heat Seeker, it also all but completely vanishes at nighttime. There's nothing on this that would say there's a person here, other than maybe ESP or a name tag if you happen to get close enough. Obviously also Skyline. But anyways, you get the point. It's super well hidden, and I really do like how this LR15 looks. Again, I love the color palette. I'm just not too sure what's happening with this big spike here. Anyways, moving on from that, we've got a brand new Icepick this week after quite a big drought of Icepick skins. Last week or the week before we got one, and this week we're getting yet another one. This is the Gold Chains Icepick for $3, making it a pretty expensive Icepick. And of course, if you're a fan of collecting gold type skins with gold highlights, things like that, this of course is going to be a really nice addition to your collection. We've got the same old bits of, I guess, cloth, but in this case, a orangey blacky cloth with golden chains around it, holding together the top and the bottom of this gold Icepick, with fine gold written across the side, across the handle, the pipe, things like that. It's everywhere, and I really like how it looks. Obviously, I'm a pretty big fan of the gold and black color palette, almost as much as the purple and orange, but I think this thing really does look pretty cool. If we have a look from the first person, this is what we're working with here. I really, again, like how this thing looks. Super shiny, super rich looking. If you got one of these, you're definitely flexing it. But yeah, I like it a lot. From there, we've only got one other item that we can hold, and that is this week's brand new Ultramarine Rock. Yep, again, we've got another addition to the Ultramarine set. This set is hopefully nearing completion because we've seen a skin for pretty much everything in this game at this point, and now we've got a Ultramarine Rock. If you like this blue and black color scheme, this is obviously going to be another nice addition to your set. We've seen so many of these before, you probably already know anything and everything I could tell you about it. It's just another Ultramarine skin to add to your collection. I like it. As for nighttime, however, as you would hope, there's no emission on this, no glowing, no nothing like that. This rock completely vanishes at nighttime, meaning you're safe to go out and hit trees while someone's camping outside your base, etc. It's pretty safe to do so. As for the Icepick that we saw previously, this is what we're working with, also completely vanishes at nighttime again. Absolutely nothing showing us exactly where we would be. I like it. From there, we've covered all of the attire this week and of course, weapons. So let's cover the last 3 items this week, which are all buildables. And with a weird jump in continuity, it's been about 3 hours of fighting with a dying hard drive that's given up the last breath to try and recover the rest of this footage, but hopping straight back into it, let's quickly finish this off and check out the prices on SCMM. So this is the Bones Cage Locker. We've obviously seen similar things before with the Bamboo Cage Locker. Obviously that's done okay on the market, so we'll have to see where this one goes in the near future. Obviously it's nothing too crazy. It's yet again another really see-through locker. Obviously we've seen the Bamboo one previously. It's pretty much exactly the same, just a material swap out and pattern swap out for the most part. It's an okay looking skin. I'm not too much of a crazy fan about it, but obviously this is a relatively useful skin, being something you can put down in front of a door during a raid, things like that, and see exactly what's going on the other side. Moving on from that, we've got the Sinotype Ammo box, which is another addition to the Sinotype set that we saw started last week with the weapons box. This one is the ammo box, featuring just the 5.56 ammo type as the icon or glyph spread all the way across this thing, as well as some Eastern writing. But for the most part, I really like how these neon skins look, and I'm pretty sure most of the market does as well. There's a ton of players who like how this thing looks. For the most part, it's a pretty sleek looking skin, and if we flick over to nighttime, you can see it looks even better. Obviously, we've got these on the side over here, looks really clean, and of course, the top side over here looks equally just as clean. I love this neon look where these lights shine across the back of it, giving it this 3D effect. Super clean looking. From there, the final buildable this week is this Veggies fridge, which goes and works really well with the meat fridge that we saw last week in the same set. The only weird thing I find about this, besides the slightly yellowy color, is the pumpkin down here seems to be really grayscale and grayed out for the most part. I guess it's so it can vanish at nighttime, but it just looks really off, and with a quick glance, that gray color and the weirdness going on with it really seems to make the GIE seem super blurry. Or is that just me? I don't know, it just looks a bit strange. You'll see what I mean at nighttime. The side of it looks nice, the back, the front, everything looks super clean. The color is not the best green in my opinion, but of course this greeny yellow might be something that goes well in your base. And obviously if you have enough veg to put in a fridge that it requires its own one, obviously this is a pretty good skin. If we flick over to nighttime, you'll see just how nice and glowy it is. Obviously we've got a similar glowing and neon effect. This is part of an existing set that's got quite a bit to it already, so it's not exactly the same as the ammo box that we have over here, but this fridge still looks really clean. Nevertheless, you can see that pumpkin vanishes completely here, so it's just a metal piece stuck onto it. And of course the back over here is pretty clean as well. With that, we've seen all of this week's items. Sorry if I'm a bit rushed here. It's really early in the morning, and I was not hoping to have to re-record a lot of it, which obviously delays this video and of course my ever more broken sleeping schedule. But besides that, let's go ahead and check out the Steam market, SCMM and things like that, to try and get a gauge of exactly where these skins might go in the near future. Obviously, nothing is perfect. I'm not an oracle, so I can't tell the future. Of course, I'm just making somewhat educated guesses based on similar items and similar collections, similar skins, etc. and making some wild guesses off of that. If you're going to be buying any skins, buy them for fun, not to flip them for a profit. And if you do your own research. I'm not the only person you should rely on making these wild guesses. So let's have a look. This week we've got these 9 brand new skins, and of course a lot of these are continuations of existing sets. SCMM is showing last week's skins here, so it hasn't updated, nor was it updated after I made my video. So yeah, this is quite a long time ago, but we can still judge at least some info off of existing sets. The Funerary backpack has just gone on sale, and obviously there's no other items in the Funerary set, but checking Steam, you can see the backpack sitting at around $3.50. I'm pretty sure it came out for $1 cheaper last week, but that being said, we've only really just started selling these items, so it's really difficult, if not impossible, to tell exactly where this will go in the future, sitting around its current price here. Unfortunately, not too much we can do about that. These of course are different wearables, so it's not exactly backpack skins that haven't been doing the best, but I would assume these are going to go somewhere along the same direction as the backpack, obviously in this skull and crossbones kind of theme, probably to do with the naval update coming in the next few months. The Chameleon Boots are part of a surprisingly big set that I didn't really know existed until now. The Chameleon set over here, as you can see, there's quite a bit to it. Most of these have lost quite a bit of their value when it comes to armor, like these, and of course weapons as well, bar just 2 of them being the sap revolver and bolt rifle, so 3 actually. The actual wearables, the hoodie and pants, have stayed around the same price. Same goes for the gloves over here, based on the fact that it's also mostly dark, a bit of shiny iridescent material. I assume it'll follow somewhat the same direction as the hoodie and pants over here, but again, it's impossible to tell. I like how they look. I'll probably be picking them up for that reason and that reason alone. Then the Bones Cage Locker is part of the Bones set, for which there's already an accepted Bones storage box, which I wasn't able to find on the market, although I'm pretty sure I covered this before, and the bandana and poncho over here. They go under slightly different names, and SCMM is doing really unhappy at the moment, so I wasn't able to find super accurate prices for these, but the bandana lost quite a bit of its price, sitting at around 89 cents at this point, as you can see here, with a huge spike previously, and the poncho is similarly unhappy, sitting at around $1.70 at this point in time. Also, I'm pretty sure it lost a bit of its value. For the most part, in my opinion, we've seen similar lockers before. I don't think they've been doing it too well, so I'd say this is probably going the same way. The Gold Chains Icepick here is actually part of a set. I don't think most people would have caught it, but as you can see over here, the Gold Chains Icepick, not accepted, it is, has the Gold Chains backpack, which we saw a few weeks ago, this golden and orange black backpack, as well as the road sign gloves and leather gloves over here, and finally the Gold Chains poncho, which I think is part of the same set. All of these haven't been doing too well, but that being said, as this is the first Icepick skin or second Icepick skin in quite a while, most of these older Icepick skins have been doing really well. As you can see here, this previous week's Icepick hasn't really got enough sales to tell exactly what price it'll be at, so unfortunately we can't really base modern updated guesses off of that quite just yet. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool looking skin. I'd get it for that reason and not much else. The Heatseeker LR, obviously part of the Heatseeker set. A lot of these have been doing pretty well, although the supply and demand of the Heatseeker MP5 with its really pay-to-win scope sort of shot it in the foot, where it's lost a bit of its value just because there's so many of these in existence at about 65k versus 20 to 30k for the rest of the skins here. all of those skins that have sold relatively well, not insanely well, have kept most of their price, if not gained quite a bit, like the Revolver, Thompson, SAR, and AR. Assuming it doesn't sell hundreds of thousands of copies like the Heatseeker MP5, we're probably going to be pretty safe if you're buying it and planning to sell it in the future for some kind of a profit. Jumping straight down to the bottom, the Ultramarine Rock, obviously a part of the Ultramarine set, is an absolutely massive set with tons of things in it. A lot of them have been keeping their price, if not gaining quite a bit of value, and I think based roughly off of most of the recent skins here, this thing's probably going to do pretty well. Then the Sinotype Ammo box, we obviously saw the Sinotype weapons box or firearms box last week. Looked pretty cool. Obviously this has just gone on sale, so it's impossible to tell really where the price of this will be going, but having a look in the Steam market, we've seen a big jump in price. Obviously a lot of these items were sold right about a couple of hours ago, so 62, 72, there was a huge spike here. As whether that'll continue and keep the price this high, I'm not too sure, but for now at least, things seem pretty good. You'll have to check back later in the week to know if it's actually worth purchasing this brand new ammo box. Personally though, these neon sets seem to do pretty well. Hopefully this one's gonna do well as well. Then finally the neon veggies fridge, obviously joining the neon meat fridge from last week. Obviously also joining the much larger neon set, which covers boxes and things like that. These boxes, as they're a pretty much complete set, have been doing really well. The doors, not so much. The lockers, not so much. And venturing into newer territories, I don't think it's going to be going too well. But then again, it is a storage type like these boxes. But then also again, so with these lockers here, it's super difficult to tell. The only way that we can really tell where this fridge is going is by looking at the neon meat fridge, which has seen quite a big increase in price, up to $5.20. But again, it's still super early. It's only been on the Steam market for a few hours. There's no real way of telling where this is going unless we wait a couple of days, which is probably what I'd recommend for this and the other brand new items too. Based off of how those go, the ammo box and fridge, it should be pretty safe to assume where these ones will be joining them in the future. Same goes for the Funerary pants and hoodie here. But yeah, with that, we've covered all the brand new items this week. Unfortunately, neither SCMM is working with me nor my computer. Things are not going the best here. Hopefully they improve before next week. Otherwise, I don't know. I've been here for far too many hours. But we'll see. Anyways, that's really it for this quick video. Wish me luck for next week. And of course, figuring out what to do with these unhappy failing hard drives. I'll get what I need off of it. There's not too much left. I've obviously seen this coming for a while, backed up what I needed. But anyways, hopefully this late video, again, was somewhat enjoyable, if not interesting or educational, whatever. Wish me better luck for next week. Thank you all for watching. Mine has been Troubleshoot. I'll see you all next time. Ciao.